Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Holy Quran, إِنَّا أَنزَلْنَاهُ قُرْآنًا عَرَبِيًّا لَعَلَّكُمْ تَعْقِلُونَ. Certainly, we have revealed the Holy Quran as an Arabic Quran so that you may understand.
Alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, ya Muhammad.
Wa alaikum assalam.
How is everything, ya Dr. Muhammad?
Good.
Do you remember the possessive pronouns in Arabic?
Yeah.
Yeah, like for example, qalam. How can I say my pen?
Aqalam. Ana aqalam.
No, yeah, ana qalam, but when I say my pen, I say qalami, right?
Oh, qalam, yeah.
Yeah, how can I say like my book?
Kitabi.
How can I say my city, my country?
Baladuki. Baladuhi.
Like
Baladi.
or his book, his pen.
Baladuhu.
Or kitabuhu, all right? How can I say her book?
Kitabuhi. Kitabuha.
How can I say like our teacher, our school, our city, our book?
Baladuna. Kitabuna.
Mudarris, like a teacher. How can I say he's our teacher?
Huwa. Nahnu.
Huwa mudarrisuna, right?
Mudarrisuna.
If I want to say that this is our house, so we say haza baytuna, right?
Yeah.
How can I say he's our teacher?
Huwa madrasana.
Mudarrisuna. How can I say this is our house?
Hadha baytuna.
Fascinating. Now, this is what we discussed before, like possessive pronouns. Now we want to talk about how to use a verb with different personal pronouns. Like, for example, if you have any verb in Arabic, it almost starts with ya. But if you're going to start with I, if you talk about yourself, what do you mean I in Arabic?
Ana.
We start always the verb with what?
Hamza.
What about if you talk about he? Like,
Huwa.
how could we start the verb?
Ya.
What about hiya? How could we start the verb?
Ta.
For example, yaktub, it means?
Right.
Okay, what I want to say, read the first sentence.
Ana aktub al-wajab kull yawm.
Which means?
I read.
I write.
I write.
My homework.
I write my homework every day.
Great. With I, how could you start the verb with?
Ana Hamza.
What about if you talk about huwa?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you say?
يكتب الواجب كل أسياب.
Like he writes homework every week. What about here? How should we start the verb with here?
هي تكتب
So you start
الواجب.
We start. هي تكتب الواجب كل صباح. Like she writes homework every morning. What about if you talk about we and we want to use a verb?
Noon.
You start the verb with noon. Let's take as an example, ya Muhammad, like يلعب. What do you mean يلعب in Arabic?
Play.
How could you like use it with we play football every day?
نحن نلعب.
Yeah, what about if you talk about he plays?
هو يلعب.
Okay, what about she plays?
هو تعلب. هي تعلب.
تلعب. So let's talk about as a verb, يشاهد, like watch television. If I'm thinking about myself and I want to take I, watch, he watches, she watches. What about in Arabic? How could you use the verb watch with a different personal pronoun?
أنا أشاهد. أنا أشاهد.
Okay, هو?
هو يشاهد.
What about هي?
هي تشاهد.
Great. What about the verb drink? هي اللي بتنادي ليه؟ يشاهد with I and هو and هي.
أنا أشرب.
أنا أشاهد. هو
هو يشارب. هي تشارب.
نحن
نشارب.
So regularly, the Arabic verbs start with ya in the present. But to use it with ana, what should we use? How should we start the verb?
Hamza.
What about with huwa? How should we start the verb?
Yeah.
So again, the Arabic sentence. How could we start the Arabic sentence? The infinitive form of the Arabic sentence always start with what?
Hamza.
No, always
Ana.
with ya. The Arabic form or the infinitive form of the Arabic verb always start with ya. But how could we use it with ana?
Hamza.
Is Hamza? With huwa?
Yeah.
With hiya?
Ta.
Nahnu?
Noon.
So these verbs, ya Muhammad, inshallah, I want you to make like such verbs to put them in a sentence
Okay.
from personal pronouns. Also, you make a difference today, or you make comparison today between the Tamat al-Kubra and the Sakha, right?
Yes.
Surah Abasa, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَإِذَا جَاءَتِ الصَّخَّةِ. But in Surah Al-Nazi'at, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about Al-Tamat al-Kubra. So how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about, first of all, what kind of method in the word Al-Tamma?
Purgatory.
How long should we stretch it?
6.
And what is the sign of mad here?
Shed the letter after.
Yeah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about Al-Tammat al-Kubra here. How Allah discuss Al-Tammat al-Kubra? What is Al-Tammat?
The human will remember everything he's done in this dunya, and Allah will judge them with heaven or hell.
Yeah, exactly. What does Al-Tammat al-Kubra mean?
Al-Tamat al-Kubra means day of judgment.
Allah says the man will remember everything, and either he be in Jahim or in Jannah. Who will be in Jahim according to the surah?
فأما من طغى وآثر الحياة الدنيا فإن الجحيم هي المأوى.
Who prefer this dunya will be in Jahim. What about who will be in Jannah?
وأما من خاف مقام ربه ونهى النفس عن الهوى فإن الجنة هي المأوى.
This is the way how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the Tamat al-Kubra in Surah Al-Nazi'at. What about Abasa? How Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes Sakha, which is the same meaning, the day of judgment.
He says that your most beloved people will run away from you in the day of judgment since they are way more concerned for themselves.
Now, mashallah, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says?
يوم يفر المرء من أخيه وأمه وأبيه وصاحبته وبنيه.
Why those most beloved people will flee, will run away from us in the day of judgment?
Because they'll be more concerned for themselves.
Yeah, that's exactly what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. What Allah says?
لكل امرئ منهم يومئذ شأن يغنيه.
MashaAllah, tabarak rahman ya Muhammad. Also, inshallah, you will keep by heart Surah Al-Jinn from ayah number 1 up to ayah number 13, right?
Okay.
Remember what is the reaction of Al-Jinn when they hear the Quran? They said that
They said that the Quran was beautiful and some of them became Muslim.
Yeah, the Quran, yes, some of the Quran يهدي إلى الرشد ولا نشرك بربنا أحد. The Quran asks us never to make what?
To never make shirk.
Yeah, do you remember what the shirk mean?
Partnering someone else with Allah.
Okay, Muhammad. Inshallah, next time you will revise the rest of Surah Al-Nazi'at and you will keep by heart the part of Surah Al-Jinn, inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan, Muhammad. Next time, fi ra'ayatillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Course prices are discounted. Our goal is for others to learn. Don't worry.
Rihlatal Qur'an Academy is a journey that takes Muslims all over the world to learn Arabic, recite the Holy Quran, and understand Islam. Would you like to learn Arabic or teach your kids and family the Arabic and Quran? Join us.